Hi, this week's video blog is inspired by one of our network dietitians who has been sharing some communications with me that have been occurring between some of her colleagues on a listserv devoted to dietitians helping each other figure out how to best serve their patients. And there was a dietitian who posted something, and she sounded very hurt and frustrated that she had given everything she knew how to give to a patient with PCOS, only to find out that that PCOS patient wanted her money back because she didn't feel like she really got what she was coming for. And there are good and bad doctors and good and bad dietitians and good and bad naturopaths. So there might be an incident once in a great while where a patient is deserving of having their money back. But having been a dietitian for almost 30 years, I really think that there was a dynamic going on there that was interfering with this professional's ability to help. And so on behalf of her, and I don't even know if she's a network member, I just know she was someone who was really trying to help somebody who wanted help, I thought I'd just ask those of you who come to this blog, if you're women with PCOS, to consider what it is that you're asking for when you come for a nutrition consultation. It's important also, if you're a dietitian watching this blog here, to understand that women with PCOS aren't just anxious about their weight, and they aren't just your typical weight loss patient, but they're someone who has been diagnosed oftentimes with infertility. Their bodies are not cooperating. They're growing hair. You may not see it if they're shaving it. They have skin changes. They might be losing hair in places where they're not growing it. And so the level of anxiety and the sense of urgency in finding a solution is much greater than what you might experience with the average patient coming into your office. But also, if you're the patient in the side of this scenario, it's important to understand that what dietitians offer isn't an instant solution. What they're offering is a way for you to take changes that I'm guessing you know you need to make. You know you need to eat less sugar. You know you need to eat more protein. You know you need to exercise more. But for whatever reason, you're not finding a way to make that work in your life. And so you're really coming asking for coaching. And that can be different than going to an IVF doctor who is essentially giving you a treatment and you're passive and he's doing all of the work. And so it can be, I think, a little bit eye-opening when you go in to talk to a dietitian and she suggests making certain changes, and that may be the first time that you've ever come in contact with the realization that you're using food to eat emotionally to deal with stress, or that you're depressed and that's why you're not exercising, and so on and so on. And it making changes, as simple as they may seem on the outside, may take a lot more and feel a lot more overwhelming than you realized. And rather than recognizing that or asking for help, or maybe you don't know someone well enough to trust that you can put that much of your life in their hands, the tendency sometimes is to ask for a concrete solution. Just tell me how much meat to eat. Just tell me what kind of cereal to eat. Just give me a menu. And when you take that home and that doesn't make your anxiety go away and you don't see changes within a couple of days, it can feel like the dietitian was to blame. And actually, when I socialize and I try to describe to people what it is that I do within CIST, I always tell them that the most stressful part of my job is fielding the phone calls from women who are so anxious and overwhelmed and don't even know where to start. And essentially they tell me, if you don't get me pregnant within X amount of weeks, I'm going to the IVF doctor, and putting all of the responsibility on me as if I have some kind of a magic solution that I can pull out of my bag of tricks. And trust me, if it was that easy, if I had that kind of magic pill, I wouldn't be putting myself through everything I put myself through to create Insist. And one of the reasons that I asked one of our Facebook fans to write her testimonial about her journey to pregnancy, which was posted yesterday on the blog, was because the beauty of her story was that she shared that she focused on learning how to get back into balance and learning how to be healthy. And even though she was doing all the right things, it took her body a couple years to get to the point where it was balanced enough that it was ready to become pregnant. And I think sometimes when you hear the word balance, or someone tells you that you're out of balance, you can feel like you're being blamed or fingers are being pointed. And it's important to keep in mind that it's not a judgmental word. Sometimes the imbalance is something that happened years ago. We find a lot of women who were vegetarian a long time ago, and that was a well-intended choice that they thought was healthy. Something in that choice created an imbalance that they haven't fixed. There may be a food sensitivity that you're not aware of that you have that we can help you to discover and work around. And we really try and individualize the program, so we don't just give handouts. Every woman who comes to us has a different sensitivity or imbalance or history that needs to be taken into account, and we don't believe that standardized handouts are going to work. But we do expect when you come in that you understand that while we can understand your PCOS and we can show you the things that you might need to do, we can't take it on for you. There's no such thing as you just handing us your PCOS on a plate and us living with it for you and doing the things that need to be done. The most we can do is guide you. We can put our arms around you, support you, promote you, love you, encourage you, and steer you through choices that may not be productive, but we can't make the changes for you. So if you are looking for a place where you may be able to have a little bit more passive experience, and I don't mean any disrespect to IVF doctors when I say this, that may be a better route. I wouldn't want to have anyone view us as an either-or choice, because I firmly believe that if you take the time to invest in yourself with us and get your body in the best possible condition that you can before you go through such an expensive procedure, you have a much better chance of achieving success with that and getting a return on the investment for the thousands of dollars that you're going to spend for that. So but if you do not believe in the power that you have within yourself to heal a lot of what's going on with your PCOS, then there's not going to be a lot that a dietitian is going to be able to help you with. I hope that at some point in everything that you've seen with us, that you know that wherever you are along your spectrum of change, if you're just contemplating, you're just learning, you're trying to understand, or you're ready to take action, there's a place for you at Insist, and we hope that you follow us on Facebook or on the blog or on Twitter. You reach out through a Power Up for PCOS group, and find people who might be a little bit ahead of you, who can pull you forward, like our patient who graciously wrote the blog post for us yesterday. But please understand that when you come to a dietitian, we don't have magic. We have a lot of knowledge, and we have a lot of ways to help you make changes that, being diagnosed with something as scary as infertility can make you feel like you don't have power to do. We like to empower you and give you back the power that sometimes such a chronic and debilitating diagnosis can take away from you. So hopefully the dietitian who was so discouraged won't give up on working with PCOS, and hopefully the woman who was frustrated with the outcome of that appointment will eventually discover the power within her. And if both of you happen to see this, we wish you the very best and hope it was a productive learning experience in the long run for both of you. Take care. We'll see you next week.